Okay, hello, good evening. Welcome back to our October week 4. There will be a few students not coming today since they're having the final. Okay, so no matter. All right, so today we are continuing on our history chapter 1. Okay, I'm still contemplating, what I mean, if you're taking in November and December, I'm still deciding what part of biology and physics should I take? Should I teach? Okay, anyway, let's continue on last week. Okay, like I said, this chapter is more of a fun chapter to learn. Okay, so anyway, last week we have learned what is your, water cycle, your carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle. Okay, this thing you will see a lot in biology. All right, so yeah, by the way, just in case you haven't known, I think I told you this last week. They are changing the syllabus next year, but I guess there won't be any major change. Okay, as you know, Cambridge, they just like to change stuff every 2, 3 years. Kind of a thing. Okay, anyway, so we talked about acid rain last week. Okay, so yeah, what did I talk about last week? We talked about pollution of the air. When you burn fossil fuel, you're gonna release a lot of sulfur. Okay, coal especially. Coal is gonna release a lot of sulfur. So when sulfur reacts with oxygen, you will get sulfur dioxide. Okay, which is this one, S plus O2, you get SO2. Okay, so see if you have the time, next time we'll learn more about this. Okay, about how do you write your equation. And then of course, when you burn nitrogen in the air, okay, you will produce oxides of nitrogen, okay, NOx, which is it could be nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrous oxide. Okay, you have many forms of oxides of nitrogen. Okay, you have nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrous oxide. Okay, we just for simplicity we just call them oxides of nitrogen because they can be any number. Okay, but the side effect is the same. They will dissolve in they are acidic gases. Okay, these they will dissolve in water and then they will form acid in the rain, which will cause acid rain. Okay, it might not cost anything to us since it doesn't really concern us, the acid rain. But when it comes to plants, they are very sensitive to pH. So this could mean the death of them. So effect of acid rain, number one, corrodes limestone buildings. Okay, all our buildings are made from limestone. Okay, because cement is limestone, it contains lime. So you get this black color corrosion on your building, which looks not very good. Okay, acidifying lakes, which kills aquatic life. I think this one was in year 8. You kind of touched a little bit on this. And of course, leaching nutrients out of the soil to make it infertile. Soil also becomes acidic, killing plants. Plants, they are, like I said, certain plants, they are very sensitive to, soil pH. So how do we prevent the release of acidic gases? Okay, we use something called scrubber. Okay, scrubber. Okay, how do they look like, by the way? Okay, your chimney scrubber. Okay, actually, all factories are required to install them. Basically, they are like chargers. They're sort of like a filter on your chimney. Okay, so they will kind of filter away all the acidic gases, okay, and the dust and everything. Okay, a very expensive thing to install. So most factories in Malaysia, they couldn't give two shits about it. They just release the air like, as if it's normal. All right, so and of course this another one, we have another filter in our car, which we call it catalytic converter. Okay, they can be attached to exhaust system of car. These convert carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide into carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Okay, carbon monoxide is poisoning. When I convert it to carbon dioxide, this thing is not poisonous anymore. Nitrogen dioxide, this is an acidic gas. When I convert this to nitrogen, is our air is 78% nitrogen. So this catalytic converter is a very awesome thing. Okay. Okay, let me show you what is this. And something funny to tell you about this catalytic converter. Okay. Okay, by the way, what is this? I think I mentioned a little bit of this last week. Okay, basically, this is a filter in your car. Okay, underneath your car, there is this thing, okay, in the middle of the exhaust. So what are they? You see, can you see the HC hydrocarbon, the coming in one, CO carbon monoxide and NOx? Once they pass it through, they will become water, H2O, carbon dioxide, CO2, and N2, which is harmless. Okay, so what is this thing? This thing actually consists of catalyst inside. If you still remember what is catalyst, catalyst is the thing that speeds up a chemical reaction. So what is the catalyst that is inside? This thing contains platinum. Okay, this thing contains platinum, and I would say 99% of the cars will have this unless you drive a 20-year-old car, because car nowadays is lawfully required for you to install this thing. Okay, and Malaysia don't have lah, but in very strict countries like in China or in Europe, basically the whole European Union, they need to undergo yearly inspection to inspect this thing. That means, okay, you see, when do you know what's the road tax, right? Every year your parents will pay for the road tax, and then you will change a new sticker at your car windshield. So basically you just pay insurance and then you just renew your road tax. Okay, no drama. But in China and in Europe, for you to renew your road tax, they need to do inspection on your car every year, see if this thing is functioning well. If it is not, then you are not allowed to renew your road tax until you fix this thing. Okay, so this is why if you buy cars from Europe, like Volkswagen or Audi or Mercedes or BMW, they usually have a light there. Okay, when you're driving, your meter there has a light. If there's something wrong with this catalytic converter, they will tell you, because you are against the law now. Okay, and you know what's the funny part? You know that this few years it's been locked down, right? Okay, because of this MCO and lockdown, right? People are trying to steal this thing. Okay, funny enough. Okay, can you see the news? Lately in Malaysia, it's the same thing also. They will try to cut this thing from under your car. Okay, catalytic converter theft quadruple in 1 year. Okay, basically, if you park your car at any shady place, okay, some people will go to your car. This thing is really easy to cut. Okay, they just go underneath your car. By 30 seconds, they will use a saw and cut this thing out, because this thing inside is platinum. Okay, one catalytic converter, they can easily sell 400 ringgit. So something really stupid. Okay, so this is the catalytic converter, because inside it has this very valuable metals they're trying to sell. Okay, so please don't park your car anywhere shady, because this thing is a pain in the ass to repair. Because if you got your catalytic converter stolen, okay, to install a new one from, let's say you drive a Toyota, a new catalytic converter can easily cost you 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit. Not even joking. Okay, because lately there has been a lot of cases in Facebook saying that people's catalytic converter has been stolen. All right, you cannot live without this thing. Okay, lawfully you are required to put them, and that's why people have been stealing it. Okay, because of the metal inside. All right, anyway, let's look at our global warming and greenhouse effect. So as you know, carbon dioxide and methane, they are causing global warming due to greenhouse effect. Okay, so they are kind of the same thing. Greenhouse effect will cause global warming. Okay, like I said, I think I told you this last week, right? Okay, okay, not sure I have, but they say by 2050. Okay, so far, how much has the temperature increased over the past 100 years? Our atmospheric temperature, I think, if I'm not mistaken, has been increased by roughly around 0.8 degrees Celsius over the past 100 years. You might say, sir, it's only 0.8. What's the matter? 0.8 is a lot. We are talking about the whole world. This, just because of this 0.8, the weather is like crazy already. Okay, they say the point of no return is 1.5. Okay, so before we reach this 1.5, which is easily done, we need to reach something called net zero carbon by 2050. Okay, net zero carbon. That means how much greenhouse gas, okay, these are called greenhouse gases, how much greenhouse gases we are producing by 2050, we need to offset it by absorbing all the carbon dioxide away. by absorbing all these greenhouse gases away so that we won't touch this thing. Okay, because once we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius, we will cause permanent damage to the environment, and that is the point of no return. Okay, hey, it's not long, 2050 is like what, 29 years away. That means in 29 years time, we have to replant forests, we have to reduce carbon dioxide, we have to reduce electricity and cars using fossil fuel, which is kind of impossible if you ask me. Okay, so here's to a very, very gloomy future. Okay, I just don't think we can reach this thing. Okay, we are just too selfish for this. All right, so these greenhouse gases, they trap heat in the atmosphere, causing a rise in temperature. So what will it do? It will cause melting of polar ice. Okay, your ice will start to melt, causing rise in sea level, flooding of low-lying areas, global temperature increase, causing extreme drought and spreading of desert. Okay, this is why California is getting drier and drier. Okay, have you noticed this? Okay, if you are very familiar with American culture, California is a state that you don't want to be in during summer because California in summer is painfully hot. Okay, because they're surrounded by desert. Right beside California is Nevada. Nevada is where Las Vegas at. Okay, it's really near to a desert. So during summer, California can be like what, 37 to 40 degrees Celsius. It can get really hot. Okay, and this desert area has been increasing. This is why California state government, they are very strict against pollution law. Okay, if you compare, okay, here's the thing in US, different state, they have different state law. California, they are very particular about pollution stuff compared to small states like, I don't know, Iowa or Missouri, okay, things like that, states like that. So California, they are very, particular about their laws. Okay, because of this global warming. And of course, severe weather events becoming more frequent. Just look at our weather, you will understand. Okay, last week was hot AF, and this week the weather decided to be, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna rain. Okay, and it's been cloudy since yesterday, right? Our weather is like it's either it's super cold or it's super hot. Okay, you just wait for it lah. Right before Chinese New Year, the weather will be extremely hot, and then after Chinese New Year, maybe in May around Ramadan, the time the thing will start raining again. Okay, it's like extreme crazy weather. Okay, hey, our tropical is considered okay already. You look at those New York, yeah, even worse. But it's summer and it's winter, it's a huge drastic difference in terms of weather. So that's global warming. Okay, so do we know how to stop this thing? Yes, we do. Are we doing something to stop this thing? Not really. Okay, do you think we can stop this thing by 2050? No. Okay, if I want to bet my money, I would say we will not reach this thing. Okay, it's just impossible. Okay, do you think you can get people to stop using petrol and use electric car? You look at now lah. We even have trouble asking people to go and take vaccine already. Some people, they say, oh, vaccine is fake. Okay, it's a lie by the government. They have to even doubt vaccine. What more you want me to change their car is practically impossible. Okay, so anyway, here's the thing lah. The more I study chemistry, the more I study about the environment, the more pessimistic I become. Okay, so anyway, so let's look at sea and river. Okay, so let's look at our water. Water is abundant on Earth, however, most of it is in the sea and ocean. Okay, 99% is the sea and ocean. Fresh water only makes up 3% of the total water on Earth. Only 3% of water is not salty water. Okay, 淡水 as in not salty water. So water carries many diseases and needs to be treated before it can be used. Okay, so every country has their own water treatment system. Okay, we are the same. That's why every few months you will pay these people called Ina Water. Okay, they are there to treat your water, not your water bill. The water bill you use every month, they are supplying water to you, but to clean your water, it's the Ina Water, they do that. So pay them. Okay, they make sure you have clean water. So water treatment. Water from rivers and lakes from underground can contain dissolved salt, solid particles, and bacteria. We want none of it. Okay, we have to get rid of the solid particles like sand and rust. You wouldn't want your water to look brown. And of course, we wouldn't want bacteria. This is how you get nasty infection. Okay, some dissolved salts are okay. That's why you have mineral water. Okay, they have dissolved salt inside. They have minerals inside. That's why we call it mineral water. Okay, it kind of tastes funny. Anyway, so number 2, water treatment involves filtering water to remove solid particles and adding chlorine to kill any bacteria that could kill disease. Okay, so you see, we are removing solid particles by filtering it, and we add chlorine. So as you know, chlorine is very useful in killing living things. Okay, by the way, what is chlorine? Chlorine is what we call a halogen. We'll learn this next time. It is in group 17. Do you remember what is that? Do you remember what is that? Your periodic table group is like that. Okay, going down is group. Going across is period. So chlorine is down group 70, which is the second last group. Okay, they are a symbol called Cl. Okay, chlorine. So chlorine is very good in killing living things. That's why you put chlorine in swimming pool. That's why you use chlorine in bleach. Bleach can kill everything. If your house is, full of bacteria, chlorine basically kills everything. They're very strong bleach. So when we add chlorine to our water, okay, your tap water has chlorine. So can you drink tap water? Actually, Malaysia tap water is okay to drink. Okay, it's just that it has many solid particles. Okay, not because we didn't filter our water. We do filter our water. Okay, Malaysian water is actually considered quite clean. We have our water is clean, there's no solid particles, and there's actually chlorine inside. So why do you still filter your water? Because of the pipes. Okay, because of the pipes. From the water treatment center to your house, they use underground pipe. And our Malaysia underground pipe has been around for like what, 50, 60 years. So inside the pipe, there's a lot of rust. Okay, so if you don't filter the rust, if you don't filter the dirt, you can still drink it, no problem, but it's gonna be unpleasant. Okay, your water is gonna look brown. Okay, that's why sometimes when your house got no water supply, when the water supply resumes, when you switch on the water, oh, you see brown water coming out. That's the rust. That's the accumulated rust. But hey, you'll be fine because this chlorine basically kills every bacteria, all bacteria in the water. Okay, so you won't get. Okay, next time in biology, you will learn something called what is salmonella. Okay, these are diseases used to be carried by water. Salmonella. There is one thing called, what was it again? Cholera. Okay, cholera, and then there's another called typhoid. Okay, these diseases used to kill like many of us last time because last time we didn't know microorganism exist. We didn't know bacteria exist. Nowadays, you just add chlorine in your water, all these will die. Okay, do you hear any cholera? You know it's cholera. In Mandarin, you call it 霍乱症. Okay, maybe you haven't because cholera is very rare nowadays. Okay, cholera used to be a thing. Okay, back in like 100 years ago, cholera used to kill like many people. This thing is basically food poisoning. Okay, food poisoning. So cholera is when your water is contaminated by shit. Okay, if your water is very nearby sewage, that means you got shit inside, then you will get cholera. Okay, do you hear this thing now? No. Okay, I mean, basically every country has their water chlorinated because it's the cheapest. Okay, it's really cheap. And salmonella, you don't hear this thing anymore unless you enjoy eating raw meat. For example, if you eat chicken raw, I mean, why the hell would you eat chicken raw? Or if you eat raw eggs, seriously, if you eat raw eggs, I don't even know what to say. It serves no purpose. Okay, not only the protein is very hard to digest, it also makes you have a chance of getting salmonella. So please cook your egg for God's sake. Okay, some people I don't know lah, some guys they think that drinking raw egg is a sign of manliness. No, it's a sign of stupidity. You would think that our ancestor went through 500 years of evolution to learn how to cook food. Now suddenly you don't want to cook food, it's like you revert back to 500,000 years ago, back in Paleolithic times. Okay, would you eat raw meat? No, we wouldn't. Okay, that's a stupid thing to do. So your water wouldn't have these things because it's already chlorinated, so don't you worry. So in some parts of the world, seawater is made drinkable by desalination. Okay, do you know who does this? Singapore. Okay, Singapore. You see, we Malaysians sometimes we just take things for granted. Do you know Malaysia has very ample amount of fresh water? We have a lot of lakes, we have a lot of rivers that has no salt. Okay, so basically, Malaysia has no problem getting water. Okay, this, however, is a problem for Singapore. Singapore has no natural lakes. Okay, not, I mean, yeah, it has, but it's not big enough to sustain people. Okay, and they do not have enough river. Basically, Singapore is an island. Okay, it's only slightly bigger than Penang. So how do you think they have enough water? Okay, so two ways they get water. Number one, they buy water from us. Do you know Singapore buys water from Malaysia? And they buy water from Malaysia and they don't just use it and throw it away. They develop a very systematic system. Once they use the water, they buy water from Malaysia, they use it, the water becomes dirty, they will recycle the water. They will clean the water again so that they can even use it. That's how clean Singapore is. Okay, Singapore is so clean that even public toilet, you can drink the water from that straight. Okay, that's how clean Singapore is. And not only that, they will do desalination. What is desalination? Saline actually means salt. Okay, next time when you go hospital, I mean, like if you masuk hospital, if you got admitted in the hospital, they will put a drip, okay, dripping water into you. That's the saline solution. That's the salt solution. So desalination, that means to get rid of the salt. So Singapore is surrounded by sea, by ocean. Okay, so this is how they get water from there because they have no choice. So this can be done by distillation. Okay, distillation basically means I heat water until it evaporates. Then I get the pure water from the evaporate. Or by forcing water through a special membrane using high pressure. This is what we call reverse osmosis. Have you seen this word? Okay, this thing is found in your mineral water. Sometimes when you buy mineral water bottle, it says that reverse osmosis, and you have no idea what it means. Okay, this osmosis, next time you learn in bio. Basically, osmosis is when water go from a very watery place to a very not watery place. Okay, for example, if you eat a lot of salt, let's say you eat a lot of salt, your body turns very salty. So what do? Your body will force you to drink water. Okay, so when water goes into your body, it will water this salt down so that you are less salty. This is osmosis lah. This is osmosis. So this is why when you eat salty meal, you get very puffy because you're getting a lot of water, a lot of osmosis inside you. So reverse osmosis is by drawing water out, okay, to get clean water. Okay, these processes are not cheap. Okay, they are really expensive. But hey, Singapore can afford it. They are 3 times richer than us. Okay, that's why one Sing dollar is three Malaysian ringgit. It's a sad thing to say. Okay, they have the best technology over there. Okay, case in point. Okay, do you know how they control mosquito? Okay, do you know how Singaporeans they control mosquito? For cheap plug country like us, okay, cheap plug country like us, when Malaysia has dengue cases, do you know what Malaysia people do? Okay, what our government do? They will just go around your house with a lorry and then they will spray insecticide. Okay, hopefully they can kill the mosquito so that the dengue cases doesn't increase. That is a shitty method because it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. Not only it pollutes the environment, and mosquitoes, they're not really scared of the insecticide. So you know what Singapore did? Singapore, they are not so stupid. Okay, they don't just spray insecticide around. They solve problem using biology. What they did was, okay, as you know, dengue is caused by the female Aedes mosquito. Okay, only female mosquitoes will bite. So what they did was, okay, what they did is they are currently doing it now. Okay, they will take male Aedes mosquito. Okay, male mosquito they don't bite. So they will take male mosquito, they modify their gene. Okay, they modify their DNA so that when female and male mosquito they have sex and have babies, okay, when they lay eggs, the egg is going to die themselves. Why? This is what we call genetic engineering. They engineer this mosquito in a way, okay, in such a way that when the mosquito they have sex, they have eggs, the egg is going to self-destruct. Okay, that is technology. So you know what they did? Every day, Singapore will release don't know how many million of this genetically modified mosquito to have sex with this female mosquito so that they give birth to defective eggs so that the mosquito can die off. You see? Not like us, we just simply use insecticide and spray everywhere and cross our fingers. Okay, hopefully this works. No, Singapore are not that stupid. They use biology to solve this problem. Okay, this is not only effective, it is basically it's like comparing a machine gun and a sniper. This is how they solve problem. Okay, so you look at even how they solve mosquito problem, then you know the level difference lah. That's why Singapore is miles ahead of us. Okay, don't even compare Singapore to Malaysia. I mean, food wise, we are better. But other than that, no. Okay, we suck really badly. Okay, so this desalination, this is basically what Singapore does to clean their water. Amazing. Okay, any of you been to Singapore before? You know what I mean. Okay, not only they are clean as hell. Okay, I feel so comfortable there. Okay, not they are clean as hell. Their traffic is organized as hell. Not to mention the safety. Okay, you are not scared of thieves or snatch thieves anywhere. There's no comparison lah. Okay, anyway, so this is how we clean our water, by the way. Okay, so okay, you just treat this for fun. Number one, we screen to strain floating rubbish. Okay, basically we screen the big rubbish first. For example, your twigs, your tree leaves, plastic bags. They will filter the big stuff first. Okay, and then they will put ozone. Okay, put ozone to disinfect the water. Malaysia, we don't do this because ozone is quite expensive. All right, so what we do is we put precipitators. What is this? You will see a lot of this word precipitate in chemistry next time. What does it mean by precipitate? Precipitate means something sink to the bottom. For example, if you have a salt called silver chloride, what is this? Basically, silver and chlorine, they get married, they will form a salt called silver chloride. Okay, this salt is not soluble in water. Okay, okay, like your salt, sodium chloride. Okay, the salt you use in your house, your cooking salt, that one is sodium chloride. This thing is soluble in water, but silver chloride is not soluble in water. They will sink to the bottom. This bottom residue is called precipitate. Okay, it's called precipitate. So what is this precipitator? Precipitator is a type of chemical. We add it into the water to make the particles precipitate to the bottom. We let the dirty stuff sink to the bottom. Now we have clean water. Okay, now we have clean water and we filter it again. We don't use ozone. We don't use carbon granule. Okay, this is too expensive. In fact, we will straight away use chlorine. Okay, because chlorine is cheap. Chlorine is really cheap and it's very effective. So do you need to boil your water? Okay, here's the thing. You can actually tell your mom, do you know you don't need to boil your water? You just need to filter them. Because like I said, our Malaysia water has no bacteria because it is already killed by chlorine. But Malaysia water is dirty because of the pipe. So you just need a very good filter to filter away the dirt. You don't need to boil it because water has no more bacteria. Okay, the chlorine is doing its job by killing the bacteria. So this is how you get your clean drinking water. Okay, so anyway, that's how our Malaysia water works. Okay, this diagram is basically from British lah, from Britain, from the UK, because that's how they treat their water. Every country treat their water differently. Okay, we just use chlorine, we don't use ozone. Anyway, so let's look at our pollution of the water supply. Nitrate, okay, what can pollute our water? Number one, nitrate fertilizer. Okay, as you know, fertilizer, okay, they use in farming. They can be washed into streams and rivers from farmland. These nitrates are not removed by water treatment and can cause health problems for old people and young children. Okay, so make sure you filter your water. And then untreated sewage, okay, that means your shit water lah, cause the spread of harmful bacteria, increasing the risk of disease. Okay, fortunately, we don't see this in Malaysia. The discharge of warm water by industry reduce oxygen in water, so animals living in water may be left with insufficient oxygen. So just because your water is clean but it's warm, it doesn't mean it's good for the environment. Okay, fun fact, Malaysia has the most polluted rivers in the world. Not even joking. Okay, in terms of the top 20 most polluted rivers in the world, if I'm not mistaken, our Klang River is part of the top 20. Yay. Always on the news for the wrong reason. Okay, anyway, so let's that's about water. Let's talk about our Earth's crust. So what is the Earth's crust? Okay, this chapter is like a bit jumping. So that's why it's more of a study for fun chapter. So what is the Earth's crust? Earth's crust is the top layer of our Earth. That's where you're standing on right now. So Earth's crust is the top layer of solid rock of the planet. This rock cycle is powered by energy produced by radioactive decay and heat from the Earth's core. Remember what's a rock cycle? Remember your rock cycle? Okay, basically when volcano comes out from the earth, you get your igneous rock. Okay, igneous after millions of years, they turn into sedimentary. Okay, and then millions of years again, they turn into metamorphic. Okay, and then when they melt, they will turn into igneous again. This is a cycle. Okay, they are powered by radioactive decay. Basically, this thing is from the Earth's core. Okay, that's why the Earth's core is very hot. It will melt this thing. Okay, and the cycle starts again. So metal ores are rocks that have relatively high concentration of mineral containing a certain material. Okay, next time you'll learn a lot about this metal ore. I think in year 7 you also learned this already. Metal ore. For example, you have your iron ore. Okay, it's iron ore. When you get iron from the ground, you don't get it in pure iron form. You get it in an impure form. We call it iron ore. So what is iron ore? Basically, iron ore is iron oxide. This is chemistry. Okay, iron oxide. But here's the thing. We use iron for building houses, to build many, many things. But here's the thing. We want iron. We don't want iron oxide. So how? So next time you will learn how do you extract this iron out from iron oxide. How do you get rid of this oxygen? Okay, so that is for next time. I don't think it's my problem already. Okay, so by the way, iron oxide is FeO2. Wait, Fe. Oh, yeah, FeO. This is the iron oxide. Okay, so this is how you write it next time. Okay, so this is a metal ore, and rocks can be used for buildings and for the extraction of useful chemicals and the metal. The most useful of it is limestone. Okay, so what is limestone? Okay, limestone is your calcium carbonate. Okay. All right, so let's go into our limestone. This is the most common stone you can find in Malaysia, limestone. Okay, where can you find limestone? Very easy. You know Batu Cave, right? Have you been to Batu Cave? Okay, Batu Cave is limestone. Batu Cave is a lime cave. It's a lime cave. Okay, if you don't, what else? If you have been to Ipoh before, next time if you go to Ipoh, while you're on the way to Ipoh on the highway, you look at your left and right hand side, you will see like big mountains there. Those are lime cave. And some of the cave they have like construction going on there. They're trying to get this limestone. There's like an extraction process going on there. You know why? Because limestone is used to make cement. Okay, that's why Malaysia is also very famous for exporting cement, because we have a lot of limestone here. Okay, so what is limestone? Okay, limestone, the scientific name for it is calcium carbonate, okay, or CaCO3. Ca is calcium, okay, carbonate is CO3. You know, a carbonated drink, okay, your soft drink, basically carbonate, CO3. Okay, so this is what we call the limestone cycle. A piece of calcium carbonate can be heated strongly for some time to produce lime. Okay, guys, lime is not limau. It's not you go mama the limau ice. No, that is not lime. Okay, yes, that fruit is called a lime, but usually when it comes to chemistry, when we say lime, it's calcium oxide. Okay, now you see last time when you learn science, you will write something like this. You will write calcium carbonate. Okay, when it is heated, it turns into calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay, you write things like this, and it makes no sense. So why is it like this? Why is it carbonate becomes calcium oxide, carbon dioxide? Okay, now when I write it in the chemical formula form, now you will remember. Now you will understand. You see, calcium carbonate is CaCO3. When one carbon dioxide comes out, okay, you see CO3 here, when one CO2 come out already, now I have one O left behind. Because O plus CO2 is CO3 one. Now the CO2 escape. I have O left behind. So CaO is our calcium oxide. Now it makes sense. Last time we just write this thing mindlessly for no reason. It makes no sense. Now it does. That's your lime. Okay, that's your lime. Okay, and then the piece of lime is allowed to cool, and then a few drops of water are added. The solid flakes expand, crumble into slick lime. What is a slick lime? That when you add water to it, you'll get something called calcium hydroxide. Okay, what is the slick lime? If you still remember in your year 7, slick lime is the thing you use to neutralize. Remember neutralization? Hey, neutralization in chemistry is one of the most important chapter. Okay, you think that you're over that? No. Remember, acid plus alkaline, you get salt plus water. But this time you write it in the chemical formula form. So what is the function of this slick lime? It is to neutralize acidic water or soil. Okay. For example, if your water has this sour smell because of bacteria, or your soil is so acidic that plants will just die, no problem. You just put slick lime, okay, which is the calcium hydroxide. Okay, you just spread around your water and spread around your soil. It will neutralize the acid, and your water or your soil will be fine. Okay, so that's what we call sodium hydroxide. For people who don't study chemistry, they say slick lime. Okay, they say lime. But for us, we say calcium oxide, we say calcium hydroxide. And we don't only just say this, we have to give the chemical formula, which is the annoying part. All right, so that is next year's stuff already. Okay, so if more water is added, an alkaline solution, lime water is obtained. So if you keep adding more water, this thing will dissolve in water. We call it lime water. Okay, so what is lime water? Lime water is used to test carbon dioxide. Okay, when you have carbon dioxide coming out, you will use lime water to test. And when lime water meets carbon dioxide, they will turn back into calcium carbonate again. You see, the cycle can be completed by bubbling carbon dioxide into the solution. A white precipitate of calcium carbonate is formed. Now, you see, it cycles back. Okay, it's like a rock cycle. Calcium carbonate, you heat it, it becomes calcium hydroxide. You add water, it becomes slick lime, calcium hydroxide, or lime water, calcium hydroxide. When you add carbon dioxide, you change back into this thing. You see, just now I take out one carbon dioxide. Now I put another carbon dioxide back. That's what we call a limestone cycle. Okay, sure, this makes no sense to you. Okay, sir, why is it? Why there's a 2 here? How does this thing work? Okay, you will learn this next time. Don't worry. All right, so that's a limestone cycle. Anyway, moving on, let's go to the problem of fossil fuel. Okay, as I told you just now, we cannot keep burning fossil fuel, but we have no choice. Okay, fossil fuel is our, I would say, the major source of energy. 80% of our energy comes from fossil fuel. Okay, there is no way yet for us to replace this. So what are fossil fuel? Fossil fuel are coal, petroleum, and natural gas. 3 of these. Okay, these 3 are fossil fuel. And like us, Malaysia, we rely on petroleum and natural gas a lot. Whereas country like China, they rely a lot on coal. Okay, you know it's coal, right? Coal is your, in Mandarin we call this 煤炭. This is like, okay, it's not charcoal. Okay, this is coal. It's like a black stone thing. We used to power trains using coal. China, they still use this. In fact, many countries, they still use coal. Why? Because coal is very cheap and it has a lot of energy. But it is very polluting. Coal is a very dirty energy. It gives out a lot of sulfur. That's why we don't want to rely on it. So these are important sources of energy, but are also very important sources of raw material. You see, plastics are all from here. Okay, do you know your plastics are from petroleum? You get plastic from petrol. So without petrol, you cannot make plastic. Okay, drugs, detergent, and many other useful substances. All right, so can we stop using them? We can't, okay, because they're too important. So they are limited non-renewable source. That means once you finish it, then the thing is no more. All right, so as countries become industrialized, energy use in the world is increasing at an even faster rate than the population. Okay, so if you compare to 100 years ago and now, life pace is getting faster and faster. We want a new phone every year. We want to change new car every few years. We are living in a very fast pace that humans are not, we are still not used to it. Okay, look at technology. So one of it is hydrogen. Okay, so this is one of the field that they are proposing right now. It's getting more and more common is your hydrogen fuel. Okay, hydrogen is one possible fuel for the future, either as a substance to burn or use in fuel cell. Okay, so what is it? Okay, anyway, by the way, what is a hydrogen fuel? Okay, as you know, hydrogen can explode. Okay, when hydrogen meets fire, hydrogen is not a very stable gas. Okay, it burns very strongly in oxygen, but the good thing is they produce water. Okay, if you burn petroleum, okay, if you still remember what is combustion, petroleum plus oxygen, when you burn it, you will get carbon dioxide and water. You see, this is something we don't want. Okay, we don't want carbon dioxide because this is a greenhouse gas. But if we use hydrogen to burn, you don't produce carbon dioxide, you straight away get water. Okay, so you might say, wow, sir, this is so good. Why don't we use this? Why don't we start using hydrogen? It's not that easy. Okay, it's not that easy. So when hydrogen burns, it produces more energy per gram than any fuel. Okay, this is the good thing about hydrogen. When you burn hydrogen, as in per gram, they produce much more energy than petroleum. That means 60 liters of petroleum and 60 liters of hydrogen. Hydrogen is going to go much more further. Okay, maybe your fuel, your daddy go and pump petrol, the petrol can last maybe 1 week. If they use hydrogen, hydrogen can maybe last 2 weeks. Then, wow, so good. Why we're not using this? Okay, but here's the problem. Fuel as a fuel has problem. Number one, hydrogen gas is difficult to store and transport because of its low density. Petrol is a liquid, hydrogen is a gas. Okay, to change this gas into a liquid, you have to compress it. When you compress it, it gets dangerous because high pressure usually means explosion. Okay, and of course, the main concern is hydrogen is not cheap to produce. Okay, if it costs much more than petroleum, then what's the point of using it? Okay, it makes no sense to use. So the main method of obtaining it on a large scale is by electrolysis of water. This one, you will learn this next time. Now, what is electrolysis? Basically, electrolysis is by using electric. We split water into two. As you know, water is H2O, right? Okay, when we split water into two, we will get hydrogen and oxygen. This is how we do electrolysis. We basically just tear them apart, and then we get hydrogen. Okay, so some car burns hydrogen in the engine, while some uses hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, so there are two ways for you to use hydrogen. Number one, your car burns hydrogen. That means when you go petrol station, you have to go to a petrol station with hydrogen. In UK, they already have this. Okay, hydrogen fuel. Okay, they are already having this thing in there. You see, some country they are already having hydrogen fuel in some of the petrol station. Okay, really cool, huh? Can you imagine you using this someday? But this is not very common lah. They only exist in, for example, Japan. Okay, and UK, I think is one of them. Okay, if you look at a car, it's called Toyota Mirai. Okay, this thing is a hydrogen car. Okay, this thing they don't pump hydrogen inside. Okay, instead they use something called a hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, that means the car produces hydrogen on its own. We call it a hydrogen fuel cell. Okay, that means they will put this electrolysis of water inside your car so that your car produces its own hydrogen. Okay, hey, why don't we do this? But here's another problem. Hydrogen fuel cell is very flammable. Do you want a bomb sitting in your car? No, you wouldn't. That's why, not to mention, this is very expensive. This is really expensive. Okay, basically it's like a battery. That's why I call it a fuel cell. Cell is battery lah. Basically, it's like a hydrogen battery inside your car. Okay, that's why they call it Toyota Mirai. Mirai is 未来 future. So it's a hydrogen fuel cell car. Okay, so not only electric car is the future. You see, some companies they believe in hydrogen. Some like Toyota. Some companies, they believe in electric, for example, Tesla. So which is better? I don't know, up to you to think. Okay, like I was saying to the other class just now, okay, if you go to Taiwan, do you know they have something called electric scooter? It's called Gogoro. Okay, Gogoro. If you're a girl, this is like this will be your favorite, okay? Because my wife is like asking me to buy her one. You see how cute is it? Okay, how cute is it? Hey, this is electric, you know. This is electric, you know, and you don't need to charge this thing. Okay, you might say, huh, sir, then how does this thing work? Okay, very simple. In Taiwan, okay, in Taipei, okay, the capital, they have like hundreds of battery charging stations. If your Gogoro, which is this very cute scooter, if your scooter runs out of battery, you don't need to charge it. You just go to any of this battery recharge station. You just take your empty battery out, put it into the slot. You take out any charged battery, put it into your scooter, then your scooter can go again. How cool is this? Okay, hey, in Taiwan, they are doing this, you know. I went to Taiwan like 2, 3 years ago. They already have this everywhere. Everyone is using this scooter. I don't know, it looks cute to me. I mean, as a guy, I wouldn't want to drive this. It looks pretty gay to me. But hey, if you are good, and this thing is like super cute. Okay, and no sound one at all. Because this is electric, you only hear the wheel turning sound. There's no wrong sound. It's very quiet, and hey, it's trendy. Okay, so who knows that one day we might apply this in Malaysia. This is electric. So like you see, some companies they believe in hydrogen, some companies they believe in electric. So which is which? I think both works. Okay, why limit yourself to only one option? So who knows, next time you might drive a hydrogen car, I might drive an electric car. Who knows, next time you have one hydrogen car and one electric car. Why not? Okay, as long as we are not using fossil fuel, there's a win. Okay, so anyway, so let's look at the advantage and the disadvantage. So what's the advantage of using hydrogen? It is renewable. Okay, and if we do it using solar energy, isn't it good? Because solar is clean. Okay, and low flammability than gasoline. Okay, it's called petrol. Okay, gasoline are what those stupid Americans call it. Okay, that's why you watch American shows, you say, oh, my car run out of gas. Gas? You mean petrol? Now they call it gas. Okay, so virtually emission free, they don't produce exhaust gas. Okay, zero emission of CO2, there's no carbon dioxide, it is non-toxic. Hey, if you breathe in hydrogen, you're gonna be fine. Can you breathe in petrol? No. Okay, so disadvantage. Non-renewable if generated using nuclear energy or fossil fuel. If we use fossil fuel to generate hydrogen, what's the point? Might as well we straight away use fossil fuel. Okay, it's like, why go one extra step when you can just straight away use the fossil fuel? Okay, and of course you need a large fuel tank, which can increase your vehicle's weight, which is not very optimum. As yet, there are very few filling stations. The car would be topped up with hydrogen. Okay, maybe you have 10 petrol stations around your house. There's only 2 petrol stations that provides hydrogen fuel. Then that's not a very good car to have. And then engine redesign needs fuel cell system. Okay, and currently this is the most prohibitive reason. It is really expensive. Okay, hydrogen is really expensive. Hey, this thing, you imagine this lah. 10 years ago, I was studying A levels. They already mentioned this thing. 10 years later, I'm teaching you IGCSE O level. They are still not implementing this thing yet. Okay, I've heard about this thing for like 10, 12 years already. They are still planning it. Okay, as I said, things are not easy. Okay, things are not easy. They require a lot of money, and it is not proven to work. All right. So anyway, let's go into our exercise. Let's do some exercise, okay, since these 2 weeks has been mostly talking. Okay, so number one, the carbon. Okay, as you can see, most of the question in chemistry, the way they ask, is really similar to your year 7 to year 9. Okay, so you should not have a very big learning curve to adjust. Okay, and it's not like, you know, if you go to SMK, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, when you study your science, and then when you jump to Form 4 chemistry, wow, there's a big gap. People cannot adapt. Okay, it takes a while to adapt. There's a very big learning curve. Whereas for IGCSE, yeah, it's okay. Okay, it's not big of a learning curve. So you should feel comfortable answering questions like this. All right, so number one, the carbon cycle is of vital importance to life. Explain how it is dependent on energy from the sun. Okay, so you would have photosynthesis. Okay, photosynthesis uses solar energy. Okay, solar energy to change carbon dioxide to glucose. Okay, your sugar comes from sunlight. So basically, when you're eating sugar, you're eating sunlight. Everything comes from sugar. Okay, so without the sun, the whole carbon cycle will stop. Then life wouldn't exist. Okay, is there any other planet that has carbon cycle? No. We are one of it. All right, so number two, water is present in the atmosphere, in the sea and ice and snow. Describe the chemical test for water, give the test and the result. Okay, this one, you haven't learned it yet, but it's good to know. You will use something called cobalt chloride vapor. Okay, cobalt chloride vapor. So this thing do, I think you've kind of seen this thing before, right? Okay, this thing will turn from blue to pink. Okay, if there's water, it will turn from blue to pink. Do you know where you have this? I think I told you this before, right? Your phone, okay, you see, iPhones, they are not that stupid. Apple, they are not that stupid. Samsung, they are not that stupid. They already mentioned, if although their phone is waterproof, if your phone is damaged by water, they are not going to uphold the warranty. Okay, if you use an iPhone, you will know what I mean. Okay, if you drop your phone into the water, if the waterproofing works, hey, good for you. But if it doesn't work, if the water seeps into your phone, they don't cover the warranty. So much for that. So how do they know whether your phone is damaged by water? Very easy. When you, okay, if you open your phone, okay, I doubt you can, okay, but if you open your phone, they have like stickers in it and it looks blue. That's the cobalt chloride paper. If an iPhone technician, they open your iPhone, oh, they see pink color, that means your iPhone has been damaged by water, they will not honor the warranty. They will use this cobalt chloride paper. Okay, same goes to MacBook. Okay, how do I know this? Because my friend uses a MacBook. Okay, she has this 8,000 baht MacBook. She bought it like, just like 1 or 2 months. Then unfortunately, her house got flooded. Okay, her house got flooded and her MacBook was floating on the water. Okay, and then when she brought it to the brought your machine, hopefully she can kind of cheat them. Okay, and when they open the thing, hey, the paper inside says pink. That means, I'm sorry, miss, your laptop is damaged by water. We are not going to honor the warranty. Okay, 8,000 bucks for 2 months. So don't buy a MacBook. Anyway, so B, state one use of water in industry. Okay, it is a cooling agent. Okay, cooling agent. If your industry runs a lot of hot machine, if you need something to cool it down, water is the best. Okay, even you go to some wedding, outdoor wedding, they have this very big air blower blowing at you, right? And the air is kind of cool. It sort of acts like an air con, but it's not as cool as an air con. It uses water as a cooling agent. So that's what we call a water chilled fan. You go to any wedding, you understand what I mean. So next, water is a good solvent. Okay, that means it can dissolve everything. Okay, what do you understand by the term solvent? Okay, solvent is a substance. Okay, a substance that dissolves. Okay, solutes. What is a solute? Solute is your salt. Okay, if I dissolve salt, I'm a solvent. I'm water. I will dissolve salt away. All right, so D, water vapor in the atmosphere reacts with sulfur dioxide, okay, to produce acid rain. State one source of sulfur dioxide, okay, like I said, from the combustion of coal. I want to say fossil fuel also can, okay, fossil fuel. But petrol, they don't really have sulfur lah, because like Shell, Petronas, all the petrol station, they already remove the sulfur from your car, from your sulfur, because our engine doesn't really like sulfur. Okay, so anyway, let's look at number 2, state 2 adverse effect of acid rain. So what's the adverse effect? Number 1, it corrodes limestone buildings. Okay, what else? It reduces soil and water acidity. Okay, you might think chemistry is all about mixing chemicals, but no, at the end of the day, it's about the environment. Okay, you will, in terms of biology, chemistry, or physics, at the end of the day, you will link everything back to the environment because that's what we are trying to solve. Okay, studying science is about solving future problems, which pollution is a big one. Okay, so you'll see pollution problem a lot. Okay, anyway, E, water from lakes and rivers can be treated to make the water safer to drink. Describe 2 of the steps in water purification. For each of these steps, give an explanation of its purpose. Okay, so we have many. Number 1, we have screening. Okay, screening. This is to remove large objects. Okay, and then we have addition of ozone. Ozone is to kill microorganisms. Okay, so many. You have your precipitator tank. Okay, precipitator tank. Okay, this is to precipitate fine solid particles. Okay, when they precipitate, when they stick the thing, it becomes easier to remove. Okay, so many. You just need 2. Oh, then you have chlorination also. Okay, chlorination. This is to kill microorganisms. Okay, in fact, chlorine can also kill you. If you drink bleach, you die. But you don't worry because in our water treatment system, we only add very little amount of chlorine. In fact, swimming pool, they add more because swimming pool is public water. But hey, even drinking swimming pool water, you don't die. I mean, it's just unpleasant to drink. It has that smell. Okay, have you been to a swimming pool right after they chlorinate the thing? You will know because it smells terrible and it makes your skin dry. Okay, anyway, so F, water is formed when hydrogen burns in air. State the percentage of oxygen present in air. Okay, so we have 21%, 20 to 21% of oxygen in the air. Okay, so anyway, I think I'm gonna stop here. We have like few more questions left. Okay, never mind lah. Okay, we shall go. Okay, if you are coming next week, then we shall finish this. Okay, and if you do come next week, I will continue into physics. Okay, which is the most unpopular, the most hated part. Okay, that's why I don't teach physics. It's a very boring job to do. Okay, anyway, you know what? I think I'm gonna stop here. Okay, so thanks for coming. Okay, I will see you next week lah. Have a happy Monday. See you next week and bye bye.